I am Adam Kemp, aka the Realtor for Hoopers. Welcome to episode 32 of the interview series. Today we have the 2006 Baltimore County Conference MVP. That's in Maryland, by the way. Antoine Proctor. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate being here.
Every time I flick the wrist, you can bet that it's a switch. Realtor for Hoopers, welcome to the main event. I'ma give the people what they ask for. Whole squad moving like a task force. We move with military precision, accomplishing any mission. In 2020 division, just don't see no competition, don't see no opposition. We on top of the game, we not one and the same. I'm Stephen Curry, the range, I Allen I with the cross. I'm Kobe Bryant, the fade. I'm one that's calling the plays. Now what else more can I say?
Well, the question we start everyone off with is tell us your basketball story. You can go deep as you want, but start whenever you want, but just tell us your basketball story.
Okay. Well, I'm originally from Washington, D.C. Grew up there. My mom and dad were split, obviously. Dad remarried and moved to Maryland, which is like the Baltimore area, Baltimore City area. So, I just started football first, actually. Okay. Like, football was my thing. I was a quarterback. My brother was a receiver. I have a twin brother, so we played a lot of sports together. But my big brother, Brandon, was a guy who like kind of took us to, outside and playing basketball and doing all those things. And then we were at a park and a coach came up to us. His name was Coach Harvey and was like, hey, I want y'all to come play with us. And then we kind of got into the scene in AAU in like Baltimore area. So I played with, you name it, man. Team Thrill, which used to be Chick Webb. Okay. And then I played with Team Mello at a certain point, which was Mount Royal Eagles. I played with them for a little bit. I played with Baltimore Stars. Who else? Edrico, that was like a little rec league that we all started in like in 4th, 5th grade. And then I played with the DC team, like with some of the guys that was on my team was like Bobby Mays, Jerome Petacolas and things. These are all club squads. These are all club squads and like people that went and played other places. Yeah. So I did all of that. And then I went to I started at Glen Burnie High School, which is in Maryland, my freshman year, to actually play football. And that's where I went to go play football. But by the end of the football season, we were transferred into St. Francis Academy, which is a powerhouse high school in Baltimore, Maryland. Still is to this day. So we played there. I played there for a year. And then I wanted to go back to high school, like with my friends and stuff. So I transferred to Woodlawn High School and finished there, man. And then came to Sheridan College and played at Montana State and Sacramento State.
When did you transition? Did you play football and basketball all through high school?
Yeah, so I stopped playing my junior year.
Okay, and then you just focused on basketball?
Just focused on basketball. I guess I was better. I wanted to go play college football, honestly. But
that was the love.
That was the love. That was my first love. Yeah. So St. Francis didn't have a football team at the time. Okay. But now they do. And they play the IMGs and all that stuff now. But back then it was just a small school, but really known in basketball. So that's kind of my story. So
then you finished your college career at Montana State?
Yep, Montana State in Billings.
Cool. Yep. Love it, man. Yep. Sweet. Yep. Well, good, man. All right. Well, one of my favorite questions I pull out every once in a while, it's kind of one of my favorite questions to ask is because we all have them, is kind of tell me a crazy or funny story from your career. It can be with teammates, maybe a crazy situation you played in, or however you want to do it, but tell me a story about that.
A funny story was too funny. Well, I got two. They the same thing though, but when I got off that plane to come to JUCO, Coach Joe Davison, he was a coach at UNC before Smiley. Okay. And Smiley ended up being
University of Northern Colorado.
University of Northern Colorado, to be exact. Coach Smiley, Stephen Smiley, he ends up being my coach. Okay. My entire JUCO career. But Coach Joe, I got off the plane and I was like, hey man, all right, Denver, Colorado. I'm cool with that. Yeah. Like, that's good. Cause I'm from DC in the Baltimore area. So I'm driving and I'm like, when are we going to be there? And it's like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And then it's all the way up to 6 hours. And then he was like, all right, we finally here. I'm like, all right, well, take me downtown. Because it's Wyoming. Yep. Literally. Close your eyes, open your eyes, downtown is gone.
Here's no downtown.
No downtown. So he dropped me off at the dorm room. And I just bust out crying, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I called my grandmother and was like, "Give me a ticket tomorrow. Like, I'm not staying here." And the same thing happened when I went to Europe for the first time. So when my first contract was in Slovakia, and when I got there, man, I thought it was gonna be a Walmart on every corner and all that, and it just wasn't. And I called Kelsey, my wife, and was like, "Hey, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more." But I stuck through it. That was a funny moment, man. That was a funny moment.
Man, I think it's cool about what basketball does. It puts you in situations, whether it's on the court or off the court.
Yep.
It's just meant to help you grow and all that. And there is so many situations where you're like, where the hell are we going?
Yeah.
I've played in so many gyms where I'm like, I was like, is there going to be anybody here?
Yeah. Or I'm gonna make it home.
Yeah. Like,
for sure.
Good, man. Well, sweet.
Yep.
Well, so now you're the founder and coach of True Colorado.
Correct. Yep.
And so, kind of give us an update on what True Colorado is, what the overall goal is, kind of what you guys working on.
Yeah. Right now, True Colorado is just basically an AAU program here in Colorado that we established actually, I want to say about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
I was with other programs like throughout this whole time. Like I was with Colorado Hawks and Whyz Elite, Hawks was ran by Greg. He's a Greg and Archie. They're good guys here. They've been in the community for a long time. And Coach D Love that coaches at Overland.
Yep.
So I partnered with those guys for a while, and then kind of branched off and did my own thing, which landed me with True Colorado. We are an Adidas sponsored program. We play on the 3SSB. We have some teams in gold. We have some teams at the junior 3SSB level as well. So, man, we want to help the kids in Colorado reach their goals athletically, academically. We're a family oriented program. We just want to really focus on the true development of the kids at the young age, teaching them all the things that they need to be successful on and off the court. So that's what we're truly about, man. And I really have a passion for the fundamentals of it. Yep. Because if the kids can learn those fundamentals at an early age, the likelihood of them being successful at the next level is going to be great, especially when athleticism kick in and all that good stuff. Sure. The one thing I notice about Colorado basketball is that I'm not from here. I feel like I am. I love this place. This is my home. But we just lack the young teaching of fundamentals, man. And compared to other states, they're just so much more ahead of us. Mm-hmm. And it's almost to the sense of like we're 2 years or 3 years behind. So that's what True Colorado is, and that's what I focus on.
Good, man. That's a good transition to kind of the next question. But before we get there, is there a certain area that True Colorado operates in that you get most of your kids from, or are you kind of all around the city? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we operate out of the Aurora Centennial area.
Okay.
I've been living in that area ever since I moved here. That's typically where we practice at, like sometimes Southeast Aurora, Denver South area, Bronny Bray, a little bit area, Cherry Creek area. But we also just expanded this year with True Colorado North and True Colorado Greeley. So,
sweet.
So we get kids from all over. Greeley, our Greeley teams have Wyoming kids. Our North team has, what area is that? Like Denver, West area, Erie.
Yeah, Erie and Thornton and all that.
And Thornton and all that. So we just touched that.
Got it.
That area. So that's fairly still new. Sure. But we get kids from all over. We got kids from Pueblo, the Springs, everywhere.
That's awesome. Yeah. Sure. Well, kind of going back to what you were saying before about kind of where Colorado basketball is and all that, you've kind of showed interest in something we've talked about is like starting your own podcast.
Yep.
And that's, the state of Colorado basketball, especially on the youth side, is kind of the content that you've been maybe thinking about putting out there on your podcast. So like, what is, talk to us about that. What are kind of some things that you see or you want to talk about or you want to help build and all that through that podcast or just overall conversations?
Yeah, for sure. My biggest thing on wanting to create a podcast is for educational purposes at this point right now, is because, it's a hot topic always. And I always share things on my Instagram that are controversial sometimes or whatever the case may be. But I'm just trying to bring education to the parents and also up the level of competition here within programs, within coaching and development and stuff like that. So that's my overall goal, is that we have to focus on the things that are important, because the kids are only young for so long.
Yeah.
You know, and building that foundation for them to be successful is the most important piece. And what does that look like for each kid? It's different for each kid and each family. I'm gonna just be transparent. Some of the parents, you know, mess up for the kids all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and kids aren't able to be coached hard nowadays and things in that nature. So I just want to bring light to all of those different things, different perspectives,
for sure,
so people can understand. That's basically what I want.
Yeah, man. I think two things I'll say is, you said something about being like 2 to 3 years behind as far as Colorado. And I would say I would agree with that in general. I think what's been good is there's more and more, I'd say, just infrastructure in place, not only from a facility standpoint, but also from, I think there's better coaches that have ever been here before.
Absolutely.
Up until, I would say, even like 5-10 years ago, there's only a handful of people that I would say, in my personal opinion, really know what they're doing.
For sure.
You know, and so now there's a lot more of those female and male coaches out there doing those things. And then kind of get back to where you say about being coached is that's the biggest thing that's tough, whether it's at the youth side, high school side, or even college side now.
Yes.
Is like allowing your kid to be coached hard and allowing them to fail, allowing them their playing time to plummet, allowing them to earn it back up, all of that. It's not always like because of the coach that they're not developing, or they're not getting playing time because of the coach or because of the thing or whatever. Sometimes your kid needs to go through that. And there's part of my story that's being cut from high school basketball. Being cut from high school baskall is the main reason that I'm as good as I am today as a 41-year-old man, because I'm like, hell, I'm not having that feeling again. Like I'm staying in shape, working hard, and I'm going to do this until the wheels fall off. Where back when I was in high school, I was like, I'm all right. I'll just show up and I'll hoop and I'll be fine and whatever. You know, sometimes you got to go through those life lessons for them to be the best either person, student, or athlete that they can be. So.
I mean, that's the all of those things you just said I'm really, really passionate about that. And some people might take it for arrogance, cockiness, or he talks too much, or whatever the case may be, but that's okay. Because you know what? My ultimate message is just bridging that gap. And like, we need to be together for our kids to win. All programs, we need to be on the same page, like competing with each other, still keep it competitive. But we need those things. And the biggest piece is, man, I've experienced that as a player. And I'm not going to say that all player coaches are the best coaches. We have some of the greats that never touched the basketball in their life, but we have a little bit of different experiences and approaches that we can bring, because we've been through what the kids are going through, right? And like, my son is a freshman, and he's not the best, and he's never been always the best, but he's slowly creeping his way up because I've installed those things. I don't wake him up to go training. I don't have anything to do with his training. He does that by himself. And I don't have anything to do with his workouts. I only coach him in the games. And like, excuse me, if he needs help and guidance, I'm there for him. But if he gets subbed out for something, I'm not saving you. If you fall, I'm going to let you fall. You know what I mean? Like, we want to save our kids so much and not let them go through those experiences. And those are the best teachers.
For sure.
So that's that I'm really passionate about that.
Good. Well, I appreciate that. All right, man. Well, I got a surprise question for you.
Okay.
So I did some recon. And you don't know what's coming at you right now.
All right.
But I did some recon, and I found out that you can sing and you can dance.
Oh, you did some research.
I did some real research. So one, is this true? Two, if you're willing to sing something, I'll hear it. If not, then you got to tell me like when you found out you could sing and you could dance a little bit.
All right, that's putting me on the spot. All right,
you don't have to sing right now.
Okay, all right.
Because again, it was a surprise.
Maybe we'll do that for another episode.
I love it. All
but Yes, I can sing.
When did you find out you could sing? Like, is that part of your family, or is that like how'd that all work?
I don't even know. My brother is actually very musically inclined.
Okay.
He rapped and sang and did all that stuff.
Okay.
And he actually was good at it. But we found out, I guess, at a young age. I used to sing in the showers. Man, I was a shower singer, a closet singer. You know what I mean? And I've grown to be more like okay with that. But everything was like self-taught, I guess. I was just musically inclined. I like music. I hear it different.
Got it.
You know, like the different pitches and tones and stuff like that. So I just practiced and sang and sang.
And then dancing came because
dancing was just something that was
because it's part of the culture. Yeah,
part of the culture. Yeah, like you learn how to do the electric slide and all that stuff. At
you went to a club or whatever, you could figure that out.
Yeah, I could figure it out. I'm good. Yeah, I can dance. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Jordan Downey.
Oh, Jordan. Yeah, he knows. He knows. He's been around.
Oh, I appreciate that. I always like to sometimes surprise people.
Yeah, for sure. That was a good one, man. That was a good one.
Something that you wouldn't share necessarily.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. That was a good one. That was a good one.
All right. Well, we hoop together on Fridays.
Yep.
And something that I love about your game is you love to talk trash.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell me about, I guess, just what you love about talking that stuff while you're hooping and all that. Like, what is something that you've connected to and why you love it so much?
I think that I've learned at a young age because that's what I saw with my dad, with my big brothers, with the community. That was just something that we did back east. Like, I mean, those outside runs in the concrete was the real deal. Mm-hmm. And like, you had to bring it every day. And I think we picked that up naturally, but it's never been personal for me. Like, I have a good way of not differentiating personal over professional or friendship or whatever. So I'm good at that. So, and now, man, I'm 38, about to be 38 tomorrow. My birthday's tomorrow. So thank you. I appreciate it. So like in college and playing, that was just embedded in me. And it actually helped me get going. Sometimes, dude, I just talk trash just to talk it. No reason to talk it. I don't have anything to talk about, but I'll say something off the wall just to get myself going. Like,
I would say the vast majority of trash talkers are not necessarily trying to get in your head. It's they're getting themselves.
I'm trying to get myself going, and then like if I get in your head, that's a plus. You know what I mean? But that's the whole thing about it. I mean, I even do it with my kids in practice. Like, you can't make that shot. Make that shot. You know, just to get them going, just to install that competitive nature.
Man, I'm not, as you know, I'm not going to be the first one who talks. But I'm fine with talking. I'm fine with talking. And so something I love about it is that, like, with people like you and other people who love to talk, is you can tell the people that it affects real quick.
Really quick. Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell, because they either change their role in the team or change their game or whatever because they're trying to prove that your trash talking is not in their head, but they're not doing what's best for their team or best for them individually or whatever. So it's really fun, that part of like that mental part of that game. It's an intangible thing that's part of it's part of a lot of high level sports. A lot of sports, but like team sports especially. But man, I just love it so much. And it's just it brings a different energy.
What it does for me is just makes me tighten up. Like I'm like, all right, I gotta make this good bounce pass or play this good defense this time because now I'm engaged. And but you know, I mean, all the greats did it. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. You know, a lot of those guys.
And what I think is funny too, especially with you, like you could say all the expletives and talk whatever during the game or whatever, but the moment the game's over, we're dapping each other up, we're saying what's up, hey, good game, whatever, and all that. Like it's all just part of the competitiveness. It's like I'm not trying to like really be mean to you. That's just here we're what we're doing.
And I think that that's why I don't really get in no fights or anything like that too much. Or you know, like I never really got into basketball fights like that. You know what I mean? Because it was, hey man, good shot. Even after I talk trash, if I lose, I can't say nothing. You know, so gotta take it.
Well, appreciate it, man. So we got two more questions for you. So after all you've said, or kind of something you want to make sure about, what is something that you want people to take away from your story?
That's a good one. As in my story, as in my
whether something you've taken for like your life off the court or on the court, whether it's to youth players or to people in general, like what is something that you really kind of feel like people need to know about your story and that they can take away from it?
Yeah, I would say two things is that I've learned the important things in life through the things that I went through as a basketball player, leaving my family, being away for so many years, playing ball overseas and different things like that. So I've learned to appreciate the small things, and appreciate family, appreciate friendships and things like that. That was really huge for me because along the way, people are in your life for a reason and a season. And you just can't take it personal all the time. Yeah. So the people that are genuinely there all the time, that's worth more than anything.
For sure.
So that's one thing that I would tell people to, take from my story. And another thing is man, it's like, just be a good person. I like that clothing brand out here that Josh Perkins and all guys. Drake and all them. Yeah. Like be a good person. Like, we've done a lot of bad things, everybody in life, but I've learned through my experiences, just treat people how you want to be treated, be a good person, your word is everything, transparency. So those are the biggest things for me because, I don't want to walk around in life looking over my shoulder or not giving effort to something, or not giving my commitment to something. And people think a different thing about me or whatever the case may be, even though I don't really care what people think about me, but you do in a sense.
It's human nature. Like I put it this way is that, I'm in real estate. So what people think about me, it's a very important part about my business, right?
Yeah.
Now that doesn't necessarily need to change who I'm going to be or how I'm going to do things and whatever, but it's something I can learn from that.
Yeah.
Like, so if I did something and that rubbed someone the wrong way, maybe I can tweak it where I can still be myself.
Yes.
And still be aware that, hey, I hurt someone in there.
Yep.
Like, so I think that's part of like be a good person. Doesn't mean that you have to just make sure that you're a pushover everything or whatever.
Yes.
But you just got to make sure that you communicating and trying to do what's best for yourself and while not hurting another person, maybe making the world a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a perfect way to put it. So that would be the last piece for me because, it took a lot of growing for me to realize some of the things that I've done wrong and just being open to feedback. Like, and understanding that people have differences of opinions, different views, insight on different things. And I've learned a lot of that in my marriage. Yeah. For sure. So that's a good takeaway.
Good, man. Sweet. Yeah. All right, man. Well, the last question is, and sometimes it's a hard question to answer, but what is your favorite thing about basketball?
I love the life skills that it teaches, the different things that you can learn through it. Let's be honest. Like, I've learned how to be on time because of basketball. I've learned how to, show up and have good body language, good attitude, and good effort because of basketball. I've learned how to have good grades because I wanted to play basketball, in college. Like, I had to be a good student. The accountability that it brought and that it wasn't about me. It was about 12 of us, So, it just teaches so many different life skills and the confrontation, how to deal with confrontation, how to accept feedback, whether wrong, right, or indifferent, So, those are the things that I like about basketball more than the actual game. Yeah. So, but I love the beautiful moments of the games that you get to celebrate with the kids too.
Oh, for sure.
When you see them not so good in something and now they're good at that. So the growth of it as well. Those are the main things that I like.
Man, now I'm just going to end it at that. That's powerful. Well, Twan, I appreciate your time, man.
Appreciate you coming. Appreciate you having me.
Every time I flick the wrist, you can bet that it's a switch. Realtor for hoopers, welcome to the main event.